Hi everyone, this is just feedback for your, this is feedback for your ICE activity 2. What I've observed through my marking is that a lot of you had the incorrect referencing technique. Guys, please ensure that you use the IIE Harvard Style Reference Guide. This is the one that is specifically designed or developed for the IIE students. The guide can obviously be obtained from the IIE library. I have covered this in one of our recordings. I think it is the introductory recording that we had of our class. And then a good majority of you had major referencing errors, which will amount to you guys losing 10% of your final mark. And I mean, we're talking about the fact that, the ICE activity is preparation for the assignment. So what that means is that if you're now making these mistakes now in your ICE activity, chances are you're going to make the same mistakes for your assignment, and then you're going to end up losing 10% of your final mark. So if, let's say, you had 80%, you're going to end up getting 70%. So please make sure that you correct your references. And then also please note that there are differences between the IIE Harvard Style Referencing Guide compared to the normal IIE or the normal Harvard referencing method. Okay, the one that we use is the IIE Harvard Referencing Guide. So ensure that you reference correctly to avoid losing marks. And then there was an incorrect application and not even knowing what the Lear method is. Guys, I have discussed this in class, and maybe I should keep on discussing it until you guys get it right. But it is obviously because you guys are not going through the class recordings. You guys are not going through. If you guys are not going to go through that, you will not even know the hints and the advice that I give you guys to carry you guys through this module. So please make sure that you know what the Lear method is. It's a way in which you answer. It's a technique to answer theory questions. I will upload that as well for you guys, maybe so that you guys can have it and apply it. And then for any questions provided, ensure that you discuss all the elements of each variable of the business environment. I asked you guys to discuss the business environment, but you will see. And the reason why I had to discuss this and make a recording of this is because some of you guys, yes, you would mention that there's the market, the micro, the market, and the macro environment. However, you would not go ahead and discuss the elements under each variable. So please make sure if you're going to discuss the micro environment, you have to discuss the mission statement, the functions of the business, and the production factors. If you're going to talk about the market environment, it's got the market, the competition, and the suppliers. And remember, for each, according to the Lear method, what you're going to do first is that you're going to explain this theory in your own words. Then you're going to provide an example, right? And then on top of that, you're going to have an additional resource. And this would go for every single question that you have. So for every single element, if I can make an example like that, and I maybe copy this, we can say this is relevant for every single question that you answer. So please make sure that you apply this Lear method everywhere, guys. It's the only way in which you're gonna get good marks. So yeah, and then again, stay consistent with the Lear method. It is a sure way to get you marked, and not just marked, but to get you a distinction. And then the second thing I want to do is just to look at the two examples that we have of the ICE activity. If I'm marking this, the first thing is that where is the cover page. So let's say, where is that? Cover page, and let's make this red so that it stands out. And then table of contents. In fact, let me say automated table of contents. Again, if you don't know how to make this, and if let's say you're submitting work like this, it obviously means that you have not gone through the recordings and you therefore don't know the standard that you're supposed to apply for your work. And then question 1, cool. The business venture that I have chosen is consumer goods and delivery, drone, cool. The microenvironment is defined by Nieuwenhuizen as the sum of factors and variables. The first thing I would say about this is that, use your own words. So paraphrase. Every time that you copy, every time that you use definitions by an author, you need to paraphrase. These factors have a fundamental influence on the establishment. In summary, These factors functions include your general management, so I know how to manage my resources, operations, etc. A good start would be a mission statement. Cool, according to Nieuwenhuizen, the mission statement. So what I would say for this is, because there's a lack of let's say headings and subheadings, you are making this difficult to read. So for instance, general management, right? I see they mentioned the mission statement, which is good. And the mission statement is what the business hopes to achieve, etc. Vision is what. Mission is to become, So let's give us an example of the mission statement. Managing flow resources in and out of the business is important. This is a process that needs to be efficient. This is a section that will need to be well managed. Okay, I'm just literally skipping to the good stuff. Then we've got the market environment. It's the sum of all the external variables that may not have a subject or may not be subject to contribute, can sometimes be influenced to benefit the business. So another thing that I'm seeing here is spell check. And grammar. In summary, so good, you're talking about the supplier, but you're not giving, yes, you are giving examples. So what you see, like the way this person answered this question, you can see here, like if we're talking about the market environment, right? We're talking about the actual market, which is the consumers, the competition, and the suppliers. So this here person, they did not really talk about much. Yes, you talk about the market environment and you mention the suppliers, but you're not necessarily mentioning the market. So let's say market and competition. And then the error is that you're talking about technological advancement, which should actually be part of the macro. So yeah, the macro environment consists of the variables. Again, we can already see here, you're talking about inflation rate, which is good. You're talking about technology. You talk about laws, which is okay. Infrastructure, but what I need is that you need to classify, if you're talking about infrastructure, under which macro environment variable does that belong? And remember, with each one, you always have to explain. So you're going to say the economic environment. What is the economic environment? And then give us an example, which would be then inflation, and then part of an additional resource. So do you see what you're missing is basically all of that detail? And then, so in short, guys, you have to discuss everything. You have to discuss everything. You will not be able to get marks or full marks if you don't. So overall, I'm just not happy with the structure of this. You centralizing, and what I would then also say is font, what is it? Formatting, which means it's your font size, as well as the justification. Either justify or right align your work. I don't think this is the right way to spell align. Yes, there we go. So please make sure, like, why is everything in the center? Where are the headings, the subheadings? These will make reading this document a little bit easier. So please make sure that you focus on that. And then references. I see you've got references. This would actually have to be titled reference list. Okay. And then this is correct, except the editors, make sure that you reference this correctly. Entrepreneurship in African Perspective is supposed to be in italics because this is a book. And then A.S. Hornby, this is not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be this side of the surname. So it's supposed to be the surname, comma, the initial. So like here, it's supposed to be a comma. So 2020 Oxford Learners Dictionary, please do not use the dictionary as an academic source. It's not an academic source. All it's giving you is the explanation of words. So please don't use a dictionary. You are better than that. And then this person, for instance, they would probably receive minus 10% because it would be major referencing errors, for major referencing errors. Okay. And that's it for this example. Let's go to our second example. I love the fact that there's a cover page. You can see there's a table of contents and it's automated, which is awesome, you know. And then first question, 3 components of the business environment. Number 1, the micro environment. Yes, I love this because we can see there's a heading. According to Nievenhuizen, the micro environment is the business's internal factors and variables. And then this is correct. This is correct because there is what we call an explanation. So the person has explained explain. And then they are saying here that the key components of the micro environment include the mission statement and objectives, as well as the business and production factors. So what I would go ahead is I would go ahead and explain what these are, right? So I would say explain each variable and provide an example of each. So take a property owner, Maxwell, who runs an Airbnb. He rents a room in Centurion. His operation management requires quick turnovers, maintain high occupancy rates, etc. His marketing efforts attract diverse by maintaining good relationships with suppliers, insurers. Yeah. So what I would say is break these up apart so that we can see that it's 3 different examples. Okay. And then the mission statement and objectives. Oh, so I see this is just an introduction. Okay. So we've got the mission statement, the business functions, as well as the production function. So we are good here. So the only error that I'm seeing is that I love the fact that, you are explaining what it is. And then for general management, human resources, you just going ahead with the examples. So what I would say there is perhaps also explain what each variable means or is. Okay. Otherwise, this is good. And I like the fact that, you've got your headings in bold so we can already see where, like, it's good. Yeah, it makes for good reading. Then the market environment. Nievenhuizen explains that the market environment includes the external factors that affects the business. From a business perspective, the market encompasses all individuals, groups, Seattle coffee is an example of a consumer market. Yeah, so customer preferences, this is okay. And then there are 3 variables that characterize the market, which is the market itself, the macro. Yeah, so this part, the market itself, the competition and suppliers, this is what's supposed to be all over here. So you're supposed to discuss the market. What is the market itself? What is the competition? And give us examples. And then what is the supplier? And give us examples. So I would say here, what you needed to do is to explain and provide examples. Then you've gone and done that for the macro environment as well, which is good. And then you talk about economic factors, like you see things like to say like interest rate and inflation. That's something that should be in your explanation. But here you've got your explanations. But what I don't appreciate about this is that you need to focus on, and you need to type it, focus on theory and the examples. Okay. So don't just give us an example, you also have to discuss the theory. And of course, with the example, it's not just example, but also additional resources. And I've already discussed what those are in the Lear method. Otherwise, overall, this is a good submission, just of course, with those, you know, ones and twos, errors or omissions of work. And then here we've got Nivenazin C 2019. This is supposed to be in italics, but otherwise the rest is correct. And then Centurion South African Homes. See, something like this is like a bad quality resource, or yeah. But I guess you were talking about, you know, Airbnbs, so maybe it's not so bad. And if we click on the link, let's see if it takes us to where we need to go. Link does not seem to be working. Let's see. It's supposed to be this. Oh, sorry, delete. Oh, it's because I'm not on select. That's why it's not going. Okay, so you got your thing, your source from Airbnb, but you see about this place. Yeah, the thing about this website is that where exactly did you get your information? We need to be able to check, you know, the source of your information. So let's see wherever Airbnb is, and maybe that was what in the beginning of your article. Yeah, the stay over. Yeah, take the property owner Maxwell who runs an Airbnb called the Stay Over Centurion, right? And you get that at Centurion Homes 2024. So that link you see, is it? Yeah, okay. So it's the Centurion Homes. Okay, so this is the home that the person owns. Okay. We get that. Yeah, and then let's see your other references. Online available at accessed via, yeah, this is a good one. Seattle Coffee Company 2024, Club View. Yeah, you see, the only problem is that you do not have academic articles. So I would only then just say upgrade the quality of your articles. Yeah, and that's it. Thank you so much, guys. I hope that this will serve you for ICE Activity 2. Bye-bye.